You're listening to a Comics XF podcast.
X-Men. Get it!
Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Battle of the Atom. This is your weekly X-Men podcast where we rank every story from A to Z.
I'm Adam.
And I'm, as always, the bad boy of X-Men podcasting, co-host of the best X-Men podcast out there. I'm a werewolf wearing somebody's skin suit. My name's Zach.
Zach,
It's just how long can we do these bits?
Well, that's totally up to you. I mean, this could go on forever till the end, till the heat death of the universe. It could just end today. It's bits are bits until they're not. So that's your choice.
Thank you for acknowledging
I honor
that bits
your
are bits.
Choices.
Thank you. Thank you for honoring these choices. It's very exciting for me to make interesting choices with my life. Like, say, sitting around and saying, we've got a bronze medal X-Men podcast here.
Sure. I mean, we're like that meme. We're like that meme where the guy's really excited that he won something, but he's still on like third.
Yeah, but third's so far away from second and first that it's really funny. Yeah, actually, wow. See, we're allowed to be mean to each other about this. If someone on the internet made that meme, I would be mad. If any of my friends sent me that, I would die laughing. I would absolutely. I'm gonna make that and post that later, just to a handful of people. That's for me.
I was being introduced to someone recently through work, and the person introducing me to this person was like, "Oh, you should also know that Adam is a podcaster. He has the number one podcast X-Men podcast in the world." And I said, whoa, number 3.
So that's interesting. You have let work people know about your popular X-Men podcast.
Yeah, on a trial basis.
That's interesting
because I know the majority of them are not tuning in. So
I'm not worried about people tuning in. For me, it's a secret. I told one guy once. Yeah. I was quite inebriated that night. It was a very long work event night, and I have to be clear, being partially inebriated was part of my job for that night.
Yes.
Like, that was
sales.
Just part of it.
Wine and
long story short, I was talking to a guy, and it came up. I don't fully remember, but he was astonished that I was like, "No, Alex, I'm like a medium-sized fish in a really small pond." We're number 3, buddy.
Yeah.
And then he never brought it up again, which is the right way to approach it. Because here's the thing about when you're the third most popular X-Men podcast, some of that is an intentional choice. Some of that is luck. Some of that is, frankly, a lot of skill with your, I want to say competitors, but other folks in the space. And some of it is because you make interesting choices with the content that you want to do on your podcast with your friend Adam. And sometimes that's, hey, how much can we stretch the limits of what we're counting as an X-Men comic for these podcasts?
This episode isn't just on us. This is also on our Patreon, because this episode is one of the choices that was out there for a You Pick 'em, right?
For folks who don't know, one of the things we've done in the past, and we may bring up soon again, is for any of the Patreon supporters, we've done You Pick 'ems in the past, where we say, hey folks, we're going to give you a chance to give us more suggestions. Just throw them out there, and if we think they're good, we'll build another episode around a community suggestion. And somebody suggested Spellbound number 4. Now, this is a comic that is guest starring the New Mutants, so it does count as a X-Men comic.
Sure.
And I would say that this is pretty liberally where we were at. And then we decided to say, how about we just do comics where the New Mutants are tangentially related to the comic? Now,
Love it.
We're going to get this out of the way, I think, here at the front of the show.
You mentioned this at the end of last episode, that you think there's a specific issue that we could not include in this lineup for a very specific reason. Tell us about it.
So here's the thing. If someone would have gone over to patreon.com/BowTheAtom, reached deep down into the hearts of pocketbooks, tossed a couple of coins into our coffers, and said, hey, at the $5 a month level, I would like you to talk about this X-Men comic that tangentially features Magma, though I'm going to say it, the worst New Mutant, I would say, unless we're counting Gossamer and Birdbrain, I'm right with a bullet, and that's not a controversial statement.
We may see Gossamer in this episode. Watch out. Watch this space.
Hot goss up in here. Nope, we cannot say that about Gossamer, a character who is canonically and importantly canonically a child.
A child, yeah. Okay, continue.
Cannot make hot goss jokes. No, because then if that person went over to Patreon, just like you can, by the way, if you're listening to this and you would like us to talk about X-Men comics and not things tangentially related to X-Men comics, you could go over, and if you were to suggest that best comic with Magma in it, you'd probably suggest Thor 362. And the problem with Thor 362, which does feature a cameo of Magma because it takes place in the middle of the Asgardian Wars.
When Magma is in hell.
When Magma is in hell with one L. So important. We'll talk about multiple different hells in this episode to begin with. This is Hel, the Norse one that Hela rules. The thing is, if you were to do that, then you would probably have us talk about the fact that, well, Adam, you know in hell, they sing no songs in hell, nor do they celebrate heroes. For silent is that dismal realm and cheerless. But the story of the Galabru and the god who defended it is whispered across the 9 worlds. And when a new arrival asks about the one to whom even Hela bows her head, the answer is always the same. He stood alone at Galabru. And that answer is enough. Because that's the issue with Scourge the Executioner has 2 M16s and he's fighting off a demon horde and dies in hell to just do one good thing in his life.
It's pretty wild. And
it's
it is
possibly the best moment in Marvel Comics ever.
It's, having read the Simonson Thor run, it's up there. It's pretty incredible run, and it's a pretty incredible moment. The problem with that is, as you said, that would probably rank pretty dang high on our list for minor cameo. So we're gonna go
I would say this, Adam.
Yeah.
Takes place during Asgardian Wars. I know you love Asgardian Wars. That issue of Thor is better than Asgardian Wars.
Yeah, I would agree.
So you're making a top 5 comic, period. And that's not fair to the list. That would break the list. I'm sorry, Walt Simonson's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a top 5er out of this episode.
I would put several US dollars on that.
Well, let's start with Spellbound number 4, which involves a character by the name of Sally Fortune, created by Louise Simonson, and Carl Potts. And this series is a 6-issue mini that's written by Wheezy, penciled by Terry Shoemaker, and inked by Carl Potts. Zach, had you read this before? Are you aware of Erica Fortune, the Spellbound?
Not Eric. I am.
Excuse me. I keep saying Sally. It's Erica Fortune.
Sally is her sister?
Yes, little sister.
I have no information about Spellbound, Sally Fortune, any of this. I had never heard of this, never read it. After reading this one issue, the only one they have on Marvel Unlimited, so I'm not even being negligent in my role as a podcast host. Marvel is like, you don't need to worry about Zach. You don't need to worry about Spellbound.
Yeah, continue. Tell me what you got.
Here's what I know about her.
Yeah.
She has magic powers,
Mm-hmm.
and her magic powers are that she can do magic, but every time she does magic, she takes the equivalent of like a 20 milligram edible. Like,
that's a good way of putting it.
like, I'm not saying that she can do one spell and she's not functional. It's just that she is going to continually, like, the more spells, eventually she's just going to be in that fetal position and thinking of all of the cool shapes and colors that she is imagining right now. She is not effective long term, and I actually really like that as a character beat. Like, that's fun. That's a fun little thing.
I did read all 6 issues of Spellbound for this particular episode.
My friend, why did you let me keep talking about edibles?
Because you're not that far off. The idea here is that there is this giant green dragon character named Zxazx. You might want to adopt this spelling. I don't know.
Oh, hold on. Okay, before we get it, we need to talk. His name is Zxazx. Zxazx.
Yes.
Now, for any of the Zxazx out there, and I'm going to guess because our audience base is heavily 30-something white men, there's a not zero amount of Zxazx in our audience.
Yeah.
You will know, just like I grew up, that there are, I would say, 4 major spellings of Zxazx. Zach is the dominant one. Zack is probably number 2. Zak is when you want to be extreme, and Zac is when you want to be a little bit different but don't want to be extreme because you're a conservative boy. To be clear, mine was Zack and continues to be solely because when I was in kindergarten, I didn't get how CH made the cuss sound. So CK did make the cuss sound. Felt like grammatically I still am in the right, but it's not a big deal. Regardless, no one has spelled it with an X.
2 X's.
And a second Z? Insane. Insane, coked out, love it.
So Zxazx is the quote-unquote spellbinder living on another side of the universe. He's constantly sowing chaos to stave off some third-party other spellbinder guy named the Other. But he learns he has these 2 little critters with him. One is a fairy named Snug, and the other is like a little like tiny orangutan type looking dude named Snarl. Actually, he looks a lot like the little guy from Longshot.
He does look like Gog.
Yeah, he looks like Gog. So the 2 of them steal these bracelets from Zxazx, travel to Earth. They give them to Erica. With Erica is a professor at NYU who the both times that she's shown teaching is just teaching basic grammar. So that's weird. Like literally the first scene she's shown teaching conjunctions. I think you know how to do conjunctions by the time you hit NYU, but whatever. And the gimmick here is that when she wears these bracelets, she has matter transformation skills. She can fly. She looks really cool. Like Erica Fortune basically looks like Barbie with a cape.
She does look like she's wearing an aerobics uniform.
Yeah. And then she has this giant blue cape. And throughout this series, it's very repetitious. It's her trying to stave off this big green guy and then eventually the other spellbinder. But every time she uses her powers, like Zach said, she starts to go more and more insane. And I'm not going to spoil the ending of issue 6, but it's kind of a tragic ending. So what's important for this issue is not necessarily Erica Fortune. The important thing for
she's high for the entire issue.
Yeah, the important thing for this issue is Erica has a sibling named Roy. Roy has a band that
Roy does have a band,
which has recently allowed a new member, which is Snarl. And because they have an alien in the band, Lila Cheney's agent wants this band to open up for them. And so we get Lila Cheney and the New Mutants.
It's wild that they are like, hey, let's do a Josie and the Pussycats Hanna-Barbera cartoon, like no, what am I thinking? Jabberjaw. They're doing a Jabberjaw here, where they're like teens, and look at this kooky animal sidekick member that we have in this band. Buck wild choices. I do not care for Snarl.
Snarl is pretty dumb. It's very funny that like people are showing up for a Lila Cheney concert and not believing that Snarl is an alien. There's a lot of doubters in the audience. They're like, well, that's just a monkey. And it's
Okay, but hold on, no, because Lila Cheney's not out as a mutant right now, and like she's had Dazzler back her up and has had some crazy light show stuff, so they are used to like a high level of special effects and a lot of showmanship in these. So I can see the idea that like this is a gimmick.
It's funny because like during the show, because Zxazx attacks, you get a Zxazx attack.
You get a Zxazx attacks.
Lila actually transports and like teleports the entire audience and the stadium they're in out into another dimension and back to get away from him. And the audience is like, wow, that was a cool special effect. How'd they do that? You know? So I guess it's true. They don't know she's a mutant.
They don't know she's a mutant because this would have been after Dazzler was outed as a mutant and no one liked that. And Lila was like, not my business. I am not an icon. I am a rock star. I will do rock star things. That's what I want. Magic is interestingly in this as well. Mm-hmm. It feels like Magic and Erica should have a single conversation, which they do not have.
Yeah. I mean, they don't talk at all, and yet they have so much in common. But we get more on like Sam and Lila being super flirty. Warlock gets some screen time here. Doug is hanging around. We even get a quick Guido cameo. Which
Guido was fun. Back when he's wearing his Cyclops visors.
Yeah.
People don't remember Guido looked like he was a technological punk from Guido was dressing like the punks from The Dark Knight Returns for a while.
Yeah, and it really feels like the band that their name is escaping me. Do you know what Roy's band is called? They're like the Ravagers or something like that. But
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Like a Warriors like group of breakdancing kids, you know, like street urchins that like don't go to school when they should and are just trying to get their claim to fame. But I have to say, having read all 6 issues, this series can be extremely repetitious because every issue centers mainly around Erica fighting this big green guy. And you're kind of just like, okay, how many times can they fight over 6 issues? This is probably the best of the 6 issues because the diversion of the concert and the inclusion of the New Mutants into the story do make it pretty fun. And I have to say, I think Terry Shoemaker and Carl Potts, they do a pretty good job with the art.
The art looks like this looks like it should be a fill-in issue of New Mutants.
Yes.
Like, if this was the backdoor pilot for the Spellbound series, I would almost buy it. It is a odd little thing just to read on its own because like it requires you to have a deep knowledge of like, hey, here's Lila Cheney's whole deal. You got to know it to get going. Hopefully you've read a couple of important New Mutants issues, but then it's about this completely other family. Like, I'll be honest, I would not say that by reading this that I would think that Erica is the main character of this book. I kind of thought it was an ensemble deal.
Yeah, ultimately, especially by the end, she's maybe not. So it's really about the entire family unit. But it's also, this is a very weird mini in that, like, it's not the kind of thing where this character is going to continue having other miniseries. Like, it wraps up. So I don't know what they were trying to accomplish here with this. It does seem like it was just a fun idea that maybe Wheezy and Carl cooked up and decided, you know, let's give it a shot. And editorial was like, let's give it a shot. But this remains a very weird artifact of like, you know, Wheezy working on New Mutants and hey, let's put these characters over here, like in the grand tradition of Marvel minis having guest stars involved in them.
You know, I'm
gain
looking at
readers.
this. I'm looking at this again. You're saying Erica like is being driven mad or like mean? Honestly, it just feels like she's getting a little buzzed every time she's doing it in this issue. It does not. I would not get turning evil from this.
Well, you'll see, like in this issue, at one point, she actually uses her powers to completely disassemble her boyfriend's car around them. Like she keeps endangering her family and friends.
Okay, but then right when she does that, she also makes a cop lose his clothes and stand in his underwear. So it seems like we're doing bits more than anything else.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That was funny.
The thing about Erica Fortune is that she says ACAB with her whole chest, and I love that about her. It's beautiful to see happen in this comic book.
I do want to say though that having read the mini, that if you are a fan of Wheezy, it's a really interesting thing, like just to see this very random, not remembered thing that she and Terry and Carl put together. Like that's worth seeking out. And if you really just wanted to check it out for the New Mutants cameo, you could do that too.
Now, Adam, should they seek out have you seeked out the Marvel Comics Presents sequel to this?
Oh, there's a Spellbound sequel? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's in a hundreds something issue of Marvel Comics Presents.
Hold on, I'm going to look this up right now. Oh yeah, Marvel Comics Presents 138 to 142 featuring Spellbound. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up. I have not read. It's called Zxazx Escape. So,
I miss Marvel Comics Presents for one reason.
Because there's random crap in it.
Because they did like a long-running Wood God series in there for a bit. Like they were like, what's the dumbest thing that we can pair with a Wolverine and a Ghost Rider story?
Yeah.
Actually,
this is
good read.
1993. That's how many years after Spellbound is that? When is Spellbound?
87.
87 to 88. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like that's a while later to be like, hey, let's drop back in with these characters.
Let's see what's up. Good for them. Now, bad for them is that we have to rank this against every X-Men comic that's ever existed on our quite large list.
Tell me about this list, Zach.
The thing about this list is that we're ranking every X-Men comic from best to worst. We've been doing it for over 8 years now, which is too long. And there is 1,068 stories on this list, which is too many.
Wow.
The best X-Men story of all time continues to be House of X Powers 10 at number 1. The 250th best, which I'm saying with an asterisk because this is one that I would almost want to go back and say seems a little high. Wolverine and the X-Men 5 through 7. That time Kitty got impregnated with the Brood, and also they went to the casino. The casino part is fun.
Casino part's really good. That's
and
why
honestly, the Kitty part is fun. It's just also concerningly weird.
Yeah,
it's both. Number 500 is Exiles Volume 3. That's the Jeff Parker Exiles, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
750 is New Mutants Volume 3, Return of the Legion. The 1000th X-Men comic is the Crimson Pirates from Chris Claremont's Revolutions era. And then the worst X-Men comic of all time is 2099 War of Tomorrow. This is below Return of the Legion at 750. Yeah?
Yeah, but it's better than, I think, Excalibur Volume 2 at 800.
Okay. You're not going to see me defending Ben Robb here.
So we're in the low 700s, and I think we're on par with like at 757 is Strong Guy Reborn. Looking around here,
but 760 is Weapon X Force and 761 is World War Wendigo. This is not in that au revoir. That is not there. We are below. You are looking too high, mon frere. Like, this is better than the first issue of Dazzler ever at 788. Dazzler 1.
I think this is more fun than the first issue of Dazzler.
I don't care enough about the first issue of Dazzler to argue one way or another. Also, that's about right. This is better than the first arc of the Sam Humphries X-Force,
Sure.
Uncanny X-Force. I would say
I think it's better
Go
than
ahead.
Exiled, the New Mutants Journey into Mystery crossover. I didn't really like that very much.
I'll say yes. You didn't like that one very much, which is weird
No.
because that Journey into Mystery book's really good. This is above that though, but below X-Men Blind Science.
Yeah.
Which I don't
So
remember which one Blind Science is, but I
That's
know that I
the-
like it better.
That's the X Club.
I know it has X Club in it. I don't remember which X Club thing it is.
That's okay. So this is going to be our new 782 Spellbound number 4. And if you thought that was the only time that the New Mutants had random cameos, you are incorrect. We are going to pop over to another book called Mutant Misadventures of Cloak and Dagger. This is issue number 4. Zach, have you read up on your Cloak and Dagger?
Honestly, I have not. My understanding is that Cloak and Dagger are fairly hot right now because of that Marvel Rivals game that has Thick Emma Frost. All I know is that they have Thick Emma Frost in that game.
Cool. I've not played it, but it looks fun every time I look at it.
I just don't have the video games for it. And I don't like online video games. Video games are a thing for me to play by myself, in my chair with my Vampire Survivors. That's what video games are for me. Also for my Super Metroids. For those who celebrate your Hollow Knight Silk songs, now to be released. I get that was a meme. It's still a really good... Hollow Knight's really good. I want to replay it, but I don't have the time to do that. Anyway, Cloak and Dagger are Spider-Man characters that... Adam, you're aware of ABC Family's Cloak and Dagger, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How they got their power from drugs?
Well, they get their powers from drugs in the comics, too.
Yes. No. I just meant generally. Cloak and Dagger powers. They get their powers from drugs.
Yeah, they do. Tainted drugs. And yet somehow for this era, they were listed as mutants.
So here's the thing. Cloak and Dagger, Spider-Man characters when they start out. They appear in Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, and then get their own miniseries. And they have shown up. Like, Cloak and Dagger...
mutants.
Yeah, they've been in New Mutants for like a spell on and off.
Yeah.
Well, now they're like... And they were doing this in the late 80s with a couple of characters. Cloak and Dagger specifically, and then also, for some reason, Falcon. They were like, X-Men's really popular. No, he was a mutant in his Falcon miniseries. It's like Falcon mutant.
It's not said out. I've read about this. It's not outright said that he's a mutant. It's insinuated that he has a psychic rapport with his eagle based on a conversation with Professor X.
Why do you think it's an eagle? It's a falcon.
I'm sorry, a falcon.
It's
a falcon.
Why would it be anything other than a falcon?
So, Falcon was not a mutant.
No, and I will disagree with you on that because in the 4-issue Falcon miniseries,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one where he gets captured by Sentinels because they think he's a mutant.
They think he's a mutant. They think he's a mutant because he can talk to his bird.
Yeah, I mean, Sentinels tend to be right about these things. They target him because... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Marvel was just doing this. And there's X-Men fans who are like, oh, Cloak and Dagger aren't mutants anymore. Y'all, guys.
Were they ever?
They were... I know that this says the Mutant Misadventures of Cloak and Dagger, but, like, Cloak and Dagger are not importantly mutants. Like, no. Let Cloak and Dagger get their power from drugs. That's... They're teens who did a drug and then got superpowers in a weird metaphor about why drugs are bad.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest.
They're PSA heroes.
You're the Dagger and I'm the Cloak of this podcast, right?
Well, that's why I have such a revealing outfit on.
That's the other thing about Cloak is that you know the Chris Pachallo shirt? You know the shirt that he puts on his lady characters?
Yeah.
She also has that, but it's 1980s right.
Yeah, Dagger has the dagger cut out on the front of her leotard.
Super close cropped hair in this one too. Interesting vibes for Tandy.
Well, there's lots of weird status quos here, but what's important to start off with here is that for those people who were big Crotus heads, um, get ready because
Adam,
Crotus is back, baby.
I'm gonna say something here. Crotus, best demon in Inferno. There's a lot of demons in Inferno. Crotus is my favorite. Bud, when I saw him turn the page and he was doing his spell check on his computer again, I was like, that's my boy Crotus! He's here!
The fact that
Hail Crotus, he's our man! That's one of the first lines in this. There's people dancing around Crotus!
So for listeners who don't remember who Crotus is, he's the demon from the Excalibur part of Inferno that tried to marry Rachel when Rachel was turned into a mannequin. Yes, that was a real story.
Yeah, Crotus is also the one that tries to, like, in Exterminators, that screws up the capturing of kids. And
Yes.
is doing the magic, trying to have WizKid do magic on his computer with his spell check.
Yes.
I love Crotus.
It's really funny to see him in limbo with an old desktop computer checking for like who to go after to complete his spells to take over for Nastir and coming up with Cloak and Dagger, which is helpful because both of these characters are in a very strange status quo when the issue begins.
What's weird is that this issue is labeled as the finale to Inferno.
Yeah, I guess this is like them sweeping the last bit of dust into the dustpan.
It says, in the Inferno corner box, it says Inferno finale. And on the first page, it says the Inferno epilogue. And I'm like, y'all, I've not read every Inferno tie-in. But the fact that no one's been like, but you gotta read Cloak and Dagger, the Mutant Misadventures of Cloak and Dagger #4 to really get the whole story. Because we do need to wrap up what Crotus was up to. Bring back Crotus. Why have we not seen him? Why hasn't Zeb Wells done anything with this weirdo?
I half wonder if, Al Ewing wanted the blue demon that Apocalypse talks to in latter X-Men Red to be Crotus, but it's clearly not the same character.
It's not Crotus. It should have been now. I'm angry that it's not Crotus.
All right, so at the beginning of this episode, we've got Crotus. Cloak and Dagger are just a mess. Cloak is stuck in a bubble in space after having recently run into the previous owner of the cloak. And Dagger
was the previous owner of the cloak, by the way.
I don't know. I skimmed. I really don't know.
Okay, well,
and then Dagger, I don't know when this happened. It must have happened in the first 3 issues. Has been blinded, so she's dealing with that and getting used to that. And essentially, Crotus is going to show up to both of them and try and convince both of them to kill themselves as part of this spell. And that
Crotus?
is
Not cool.
No, that is like 2/3 of this book. Like Crotus dressing up like Cloak, trying to convince Dagger that Cloak doesn't care about her, going into space and trying to convince Cloak that he's Dagger and that she doesn't love him anymore. Oh, boy.
By the way, this is the terrific Terry Austin writing with Mike Volsberg on pencils, and I'm going to give it to Volsberg here. Crotus, dressed as Cloak, is pretty scary looking. Like, that's a good comic book demon look.
Yeah. And Terry Austin is also inking. So, Terry Austin is a master inker. We often comment on his work with John Byrne and with Art Adams and a host of other people. But, you get that Terry Austin look to this book on top of Vosburgh's pencils.
It definitely, I can see like Austin's influence on this, because some of these lines look like they are Art Adams lines.
Yeah,
like,
especially
it's that shading that he was doing.
Yeah, and the sparkle effects the Dazzler is sending off, like very, very much hallmarks of Terry Austin's look. So, but we really don't get the New Mutants until like like 15 pages in, who are flying around looking for Crotus and his two demons who don't have names. And they're flying around. Now, who are the New Mutants here? This is an interesting lineup.
It's great. It is Danny, Mirage. Is she Mirage or Seiichi right now?
I believe she is Mirage here.
Great. We've got Mirage. We've got Sunspot. We've got Boom Boom. Mm-hmm. We have Warlock, who is popping his head in and saying, "Hey, lady, got any demons in there?" No, Demon Busters. I love Warlock.
It's pretty great.
He is saying, "Self is very serious, self friend, Bobby. Grr, 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 grr. Who you gonna call? Demon Busters." Warlock is having the time of his life for just going through trauma. Also, Gossamer's here. We always forget Gossamer is an important player in Inferno.
Yeah, Gossamer is on this team, and
we've not talked about Gossamer much on this podcast.
So
Gossamer's a weird little person. That's all.
Yeah,
we don't need to worry about Gossamer until the Gossamer episode.
We've never done Gossamer. That's not been
We will eventually do the Gossamer arc. Eventually.
Yeah. So the New Mutants really just help Dazzler. Like, Cloak pretty much defends himself because he figures out that... Well, both of them figure out that they're not the other person.
This is the second time now, and you're going to catch it in the edit if I don't harass you now. Who's the characters in this book? Who are the two title characters?
That would be Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, not Dazzler. You said Dazzler.
Did I say Dazzler?
Our listeners are cheering me on as the defender of accuracy on this podcast now, Adam.
Jeez, man.
I can't believe you would do this disservice.
Tandy Bowen, very upset. I mean, she does throw sparkle powers. I'm sorry.
She does. They're supposed to be like daggers. But
yes, they don't look like daggers.
They honestly really don't in this. She is doing Dazzler stuff. New Mutants eventually show up just in time for Tandy to get a phone call. Or not a phone call. She doesn't get that. Just in time for Tandy to be like, "Hey, can we go get my friend? He's in space." And Warlock is like, "Well, I can be a spaceship." So they go to space to capture him.
Yep.
And then they find out that Cloak is dead.
They think he's dead.
They think Cloak's dead. Cloak's not dead. He's appearing in Marvel Rivals now. So,
though he's borderline at this point. It leads into the next arc.
It does. The New Mutants do not show up in the next issue.
No.
It said off screen that they said, "Cool, we're gonna go now." Then, if
sorry, your friend is dead.
You have to understand, your friend's dead. That's sad. Should we tell you about our weekend? Because our friend's not dead. She is a baby now, though, and our house blew up.
We gotta go. We got
a lot on our plate, right? We still gotta find 7 babies and get them back to their homes. Hopefully the government doesn't take them and turn them into demon hell warriors.
I do like the detail. At one point, Tandy's dad calls Dagger's dad, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. I tried to call you before, but the phone tried to eat me. This is my second payphone." It's really
very funny. Inferno itself is very funny to me. Everyone has fun with Inferno powers, and I'm glad that Terry Austin gets in on the bit here. I'm glad we have Crotus content.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if you would be as excited for Crotus coming back as I was, because I was not expecting it. And when I got to that first page, I was like, "Son of a gun, that's my boy!"
It took me a second because I was like, "Wait, where? I know this demon. I know this demon." And then I was like, "Oh, of course, it's that guy. It's that guy."
I love Crotus.
Would you say this is better or worse than Spellbound 4? Because it's mainly just these weird Cloak and Dagger.
So we didn't talk about the Cloak and Dagger things where Crotus is exposing their deepest, darkest secrets of their souls to them to get them to kill themselves.
Yeah.
It's the exact same plot that you'll see about 1,000,000 times. Luckily, there's only 2 characters, so you don't have to go through like 6 characters' deepest dark fears all on one page and then their resolution on a second page. And now you've wasted most of your comic book. You only have the 2. So you get a little bit more depth in that. But generally, this is not making me want to read more Cloak and Dagger.
No. I've definitely read more of their Strange Tales adventures, and I liked those better.
I've never had anything for Cloak and Dagger. I think they are. If Cloak and Dagger are a guest star in an issue, I'm going to be like, oh, cool. I know those guys. I ain't reading a solo Cloak and Dagger story to save my life.
Yeah. At $7.89 is the first issue of Dazzler. I would say that is better.
This is not as... No, this is about as good as that Gambit from the Marvel Vault issue.
Yeah, we're in the right realm.
Because below that is that bad art issue of New Mutants Volume 3.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Extraordinary X-Men Weird World at $7.91.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, we have to remember that does have some fun art with the titular Weird World. Also does have Nightcrawler breaking down a mass grave of mutants. So like a weird, like thematic thing in that one.
Well, let me ask you this. Down at 802 is New Mutants Fall of the Mutants, where Doug dies.
This is better than New Mutants Fall of the Mutants. I cannot emphasize how annoying friggin' Bird Brain is.
Is this better or worse than at 797, the Magma and Empath issue of New Mutants number 62?
Actually, I think it's worse.
Okay, so we're in between those two. I think this is still a little bit better than Excalibur Volume 2.
Okay. What's Marvel Unlimited 19? Why don't we put... I write these. Why don't I put those in... Oh! This will be appropriate, Adam. X-Men Unlimited 19 is the one where Kurt has to go to Limbo to rescue Margali from Belasco. That's better than this.
Why does it say Marvel Unlimited on our list? That's not a thing, is it?
Wait, what the? I'm like 99% sure that's
X-Men Unlimited 19. Yeah,
I'm like, it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to the website, which is the single point of truth of this list when it is updated, which is occasionally. But it's gotta be. We're going to have to cut down this portion where we're arguing over if it's Marvel Unlimited.
No, because I don't think Marvel Unlimited is a series. So
no, that's an application that works 70% of the time. Okay, hold on.
I'm just going to double check our list for other X-Men Unlimited.
No, it's definitely X-Men Unlimited 19. We just hecked up.
Yeah. Better or
we
worse
just hecked up on the Excel sheet. Oh, great question. Probably worse than that.
I think it's worse. I don't really remember Spider-Man Team Up number 1. Is that
no? Spider-Man Team Up number 1's bad. That's that involves Shinobi Shaw.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is our new 800.
It is our new. I mean,
yeah.
I'll be honest. I haven't looked at that. Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay. So
guess it's our new 800.
Mutant Misadventures of Cloak and Dagger number 4. Well, we have one last New Mutants related, very tangentially related story. So much so that when I started reading this, I was like, why are we reading Ka-Zar the Savage from 1981, 10 to 12? Until I got to like the middle of the second issue and I was like, oh, of course. Because this is the first appearance of a very important New Mutants character.
I'm going to ask you this because in my mind, and this is largely because this is how the DK's Ultimate X-Men guide referred to him as. In my mind, Ka-Zar is an X-Men character.
I was going to ask you the same X-Men character. I was going to ask you the same question. I feel like Ka-Zar is a part of the X-Men universe. Like he has standalone series, but you see him pop up so much in the Savage Land stories of the X-Men that I just kind of assume that he's part of the X universe, you know?
See, I would say that for a time, Ka-Zar definitely X-Men related in the same way that I would call Black Panther a Fantastic Four character.
Yes, for sure.
However, there's two things that bother me about that. One, as time has progressed, he's become more of just a general Marvel character, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is that we're talking about Ka-Zar Kevin Plunder.
Yes.
But Ka-Zar originally was a Golden Age character named David Rand, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy who went to mysterious jungles and learned powers, and is not related to Danny Rand in any way, shape, or form, even though that would be the simplest and most sensical retcon to ever do, is that the Rand family... Yeah, no, not even a little bit. Started as a prose character, funny enough.
Okay.
In Marvel Comics #1, there's a prose story about Ka-Zar. No one thinks about that. Anyway, no, I agree. Ka-Zar is less of an X-Men character than Alpha Flight is at this point, but significantly more of an X-Men character than Cloak and Dagger ever were.
Yeah, I would agree. This series is written by Bruce Jones. It is penciled by an artist that a lot of X-Men fans should be familiar with. He did God Loves Man Kills, and that is Brent Anderson, and inks by Carlos Garzón. This story involves Ka-Zar, Shanna the She-Devil, along with Zabu the Saber-Toothed Tiger, and two characters I had never heard of, Dirk and Booth. I'm not sure how to say that. One is a big green winged guy. The other one is...
He's an avian. Or an Aryan.
Aryan.
Oh, they didn't say that out loud. They just wrote that down in the comic book, didn't they?
Yeah, I didn't think about that until you just said it.
Yeah, no, I'm reading it right now, and it's spelled bird, airy, and like I get how the brain gets there. They just didn't say the word out loud and be like, oh yeah, he's a warrior for the Aryan race. Yeah, you can't, guys. You can't put that in a comic book. To the best of my knowledge, Buff is not. He's green, so generally, I think if he has any feelings about what the best race is, it's birds.
Yeah, green birds.
Yeah, like he's operating on a different racism spectrum than the rest of us.
And Dirk is a human android robot guy.
I know nothing about Dirk. There's nothing funny about Dirk except for that his name is Dirk. But
so Zach,
they found him.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm going to let you go.
You want to talk about Dirk?
No, I just wanted to set the stage that for the last little bit, including where they found Dirk, Ka-Zar and Shanna the She-Devil are not in the Savage Land, actually. They are in a place called Pangea. No, not that one. But it is a pre-fall of Atlantis zone that was once part of the Savage Land that they made into a hangout for Atlanteans. And Ka-Zar is spending this whole series exploring that instead of the Savage Land.
Yes. And this begins with them encountering a scenario not dissimilar from Nightcrawler's Inferno from that one X-Men annual where they go through the stages.
It's not exactly that.
Yeah. To the point where, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. And
I gotta stop you right there because our friend Robert mostly is going to be mad. That's not from the Nightcrawler annual, Adam. That's from Dante's Inferno, a very famous book.
No, but oh my God. Zach.
There's a reason to say words.
No, but okay. Hold on a second. First of all, this is really important to this issue. Okay. It's really important to this issue. One, that apparently Shanna the She-Devil is like so knowledgeable about Dante's Inferno and the Divine Comedy that she knows every stage of the 9 Rings of Hell. She knows about every creature or thing that you might encounter in it. She can quote it chapter and verse. She knows what she's talking about. So essentially, the premise of this
Well,
is
so much so that she knows what she's talking about. That when she reads "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here," she's like, "That's a weird translation."
she said that's not the right way. That's not
That's
the way it's
not
written in the
how.
book.
Well, it's written in Italian,
Right, sure.
so
Let's just jump into what this is because this is confusing. As they descend, they're a little confused. Is this the remnants of an Atlantean like
Hell House theme park.
amusement park ride? Or, as it turns out to be, is it actually an entrance to Limbo? And was Dante searching through this area to find his beloved Beatrice because she had been kidnapped by Belasco? This is the first appearance in issue 11 of Belasco. And boy, howdy, I didn't realize that Belasco had a human origin. I just thought Belasco was a demon.
We just assumed that Belasco was a devil because we were not reading Ka-Zar the Savage.
No, but apparently
I know someone has inevitably mentioned that he was a dude before, but everyone thinks of Belasco as, say, a Satanish or a Mephisto type. You're a devil. Like you're the devil. That's what you are.
that's not what he is, though. What's crazy is that
He's a guy.
is a rival of Dante who's in love with Beatrice, who has sold his soul to the elder gods so that
I just want to make sure people know when we're saying he's a rival to Dante. If your largest exposure to Dante's Inferno outside of generally culturally knowing what it is the 2010s video game Dante's Inferno, where Dante is Kratos from God of War. That's not a joke. That's a real thing.
Wow.
You may think that Dante is someone that would have a rival. And I promise you, he was just a weird little guy.
Yes. Not only has Belasco sold his soul to the gods to gain demonic powers, but he is planning on using and does use Beatrice as his broodmare so that she can birth demon life. Dante walks in on
That's
them.
not great, just to be clear.
No, it's terrible.
I'm not pro Belasco in this.
This is probably the most horrific thing in this story is that Dante chases down the 9 circles of hell so that he can actually get there. And he gets there in time for Beatrice to die as a giant winged beast is leaving her body. And they try and obscure this as much as possible in the artwork. It's still pretty gruesome.
Hey, let's talk about Brett Anderson. Let's talk about Brett Anderson for a second. Dude's killing it on this. That double page spread where they walk into the bowels of hell. I'm like, okay, go on.
Yeah, the narration is a little much. It's very heavy-handed with the narration boxes, but Brent, he's kind of got like at this point, especially with you've got Joe Rubenstein inking him on the second issue, like it has a very particular style to it that I think looks fantastic for this story. And so Belasco has a new love interest here, and that is he's going to abduct Shanna, who's going to take on the Beatrice. We get introduced to the Soul Stones and the amulet that we all know from Magic the miniseries. And ultimately they throw Belasco,
the whole Elder God thing, and all the Belasco stuff is
gets introduced here before they throw him into and the Soul Stone stuff like into a volcano or something. And we think Belasco's gone forever. He's not. He's coming back.
He's not, because it turns out Chris Claremont read this comic and said, well, I think this guy's neat.
He is neat. He is scary. And
there is a blue demon in this. Could we retcon that to be Crotus?
Why not?
I feel like that should be Crotus right there. There's a little blue guy that looks like Crotus. Can I tell you what I love about this story?
Yeah, please.
Ka-Zar is vibing through this whole thing. he rips off a dude's head because he's like 80% sure he's a robot.
Oh, yeah. And it turns out he is, luckily. But...
Ka-Zar does not. He's doing it with a smile on. He's laughing. He's like, "We got this guy."
A lot of weird jokes and asides too. Like they're having a jolly good time as they go on this adventure, despite the fact that like the android guy disappears halfway, or like the members of their party keep disappearing. They're like, let's just keep going. Oh, there's Cerberus. I guess we'll keep going. You know, it's like they're just having a jolly adventure.
It is absolutely nuts. It's nuts that what is implied by this is that Dante's Inferno was
real.
Yes, but then was literally this, and Dante was retelling all of it in code.
Right. Because they stumble upon Dante's journals, which explain Belasco's backstory, which is really funny to me.
Now, I'll say, the fight with Belasco, honestly, pretty brutal. Mm-hmm. Buff, or is it Buff or Deck? It's Deck. Deck, the android guy, literally rips himself limb from limb. Like, truly, like, jeez, Paige. Like, he's a robot, but it's a rough one to look at.
Yeah, he also, shuts Ka-Zar in a meat locker, and he's going to freeze him to death. Luckily, Dirk's hand is able to free him. But, it's pretty... He also, like, really does a number on the flying winged guy, too. Like, Buff, he, like, kind of, I don't know, mind wipes him. He's, like, hypnotized. Belasco is gruesome from day one. He's ready to get you. So
he is an intriguing villain, and frankly, a killer design. One thing that I was shocked is not mentioned in this is where his arm went.
He does not have the arm. Like, he just has the cloak over his right.
Yeah, he just has the one arm. He just has the one arm, which he always has had. But, like, they show him in the past, when he was a dude, he had two arms. So, there is a Belasco story of Belasco losing his arm, and I don't think it was when he got transformed into a demon by elder gods who want the bloodstones. Now, what are the bloodstones? Whatever you want them to be, sweetheart, or whatever they need to be. He does get really close to summoning all the elder gods in this, and luckily Ka-Zar and Shauna and everybody beat him, including using Dirk's hand, like his hand that was severed. It crawls around like it's from
Cousin It.
And he helps save the day. Anyway, Ka-Zar then uses a knife and wins the fight.
I enjoyed this just because it was really wacky. Now, I want to go back to that narration thing. I do think it's a little heavy-handed. It's a little wordy.
It's a little much on this. I get why Chris Claremont read this. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do some jazz here. Let's riff on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see the appeal because this is 1981. So this is right after Brett Stewart got Lowe's Man Kill. So he's like, this is your new project? Let's go check this out. Okay.
Now, I don't think this rises to the level of Storm and Ileana Magic, the original Magic miniseries.
No, it's not that good.
That is all the way up at 77. But, I could be convinced that this is as entertaining as like some other Savage Land stories. I'm curious to see where
this is a better Savage Land story, even though it's not set in the Savage Land, than most of them. Like, I kind of wonder if the rest of this run is like pretty solid like this, because between that and the Zach Thompson run and the Mark Waid run, maybe Ka-Zar's good actually.
This straddles a really fun line of like goofy and like, that's actually really horrific, and bouncing back and forth from that. So I don't think it's like the best thing ever, but I enjoyed it, and I'm just trying to think
you have highlighted 439 to Save the Savage Land, which is the Claremont and Byrne story. And we both agree that it's not better than that, right?
No. I think I'm working my way down.
I just want to make sure we were on the same page.
Yeah. But do you think it's better than the Jeff Parker Exiles at 500?
It's not at 500. Jeff Parker Exiles are at 477. We messed up earlier in this episode when we were saying words. When I was saying words.
Oh, sorry.
This is the Saladin Ahmed, the first arc of his Exiles.
No, this is not as good as that.
And that is, thank you, Javier Rodriguez, who, God bless the fact that folks are finally realizing what people who have known for a while, that Javier Rodriguez rules. All it took was a Martian Manhunter book. I'm not mad. At least you guys know.
592 is Saga of Crystal Warrior 6.
This is better than Saga of the Crystal Warrior.
I do think it might be better than that, but it's not as good as 585 ROM 17 to 18 Hybrid.
That is also a weirdly dark story. This is better, though, than Punisher War Journal 6 and 7, the first appearance of Punisher and Wolverine.
All right, so this is going to be our new 586 Ka-Zar the Savage, Volume 1. 10 through 12. And Zach, we did it.
Folks, if you ever wanted to know why Ka-Zar is in the Illyana miniseries for what appears to be no real reason, this is why.
Yeah.
Because Belasco was doing a completely different heist. By the way, some folks may think, as I did before we did this episode, that Belasco got interrupted by Illyana during an actual, like, a story he was doing in the Ka-Zar book. And that's not true. This is just him, like, being like, well, I'll get Ka-Zar next time. So it does make that Illyana scene even funnier, that he shows up and he's like, I'll get my revenge on you, Ka-Zar! And we're like, we don't know what you're talking about, Belasco. It's weird. We do know that guy, though. And Buff and Delk are in that too. Again, like, he's getting revenge on everybody. Anyway, this has been a fun episode. I wasn't sure when we were about to record this if I was going to enjoy this. I did, and I hope our listeners did too.
There's a lot to enjoy in these goofy stories.
Bunch of goofball stories here.
Yeah. Thanks to our patrons.
Thank you to all of our patrons. If you want to be like them, go to patreon.com/Battle of the Atom. You know, some of us have to buy new podcasting microphones this week because after 7 years...
8 years. You said you bought it 7 years ago.
I got it the Christmas of our first year, so almost 8 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Long story short, the old girl just doesn't have a dinner anymore. So I need to get a better microphone. So patreon.com/Battle of the Atom, $5, and I get a better microphone. Or you get your own episode of the podcast based around whatever concept you're into. Adam, what do you have going on?
Geez, by the time this comes out, I will have just turned 45.
Congratulations.
Feeling pretty good. What else is going on? I guess I'm not. By the time this come out, I was offering discount commissions during the month of August, but just hit me up. You know, like
Adam also needs a new microphone.
I've got a nice queue of people that have been making requests, and I'm working my way through it. But if you've got an idea, you want something, let me know. I believe this week we may be doing some more Uncanny coverage on Comics XF. Anyway, it's business as usual. Zach, what are we doing next week?
That's a great idea, Adam. Tell them what we're doing next week. Next week, we're doing an episode all about Marrow.
Ooh, I love Marrow.
Do you love Marrow?
Yeah, one of my favorites.
We'll save all of my questions about that until next week. But until then, folks, this has been Battle of the Atom. We hope you survived the experience.
Get it!